So today's question is, of course, what is wargaming cooking for EU and NA and C? New ships, close test 13.10. It's our favorite time of the month. Uh-oh. Okay, well, it's our favorite time of the month again. With update 13.1 around the corner, we're here to share news about the upcoming ships being added for testing. This time we're excited to give you a first look at the not only upcoming premiums, but also next line of tech tree ships, Dutch light cruisers. They're adding a lot of tech tree ships lately, or like a lot of lines, I feel. Dutch light cruisers. Dutch light cruisers, not American, not German light cruisers, but Dutch light cruisers. Interesting. For the airstrike enjoyers out there, we have a special surprise. Update 13.10 brings 3 new Dutch cruisers to the game. Like their heavy brethren, these ships feature airstrikes and will shine brightest playing in open water. However, the similarities mostly end there. What do you mean similarities? How much are you playing Gut and Lu open water? Like, oftentimes you want to be parked around islands and dropping on the other side of the island. Open water? Huh? Each ship in the branch is equipped with small caliber 128mm main battery guns, featuring good range and ballistics for their size. Again, I'm not sure why if it's a light cruiser with this small guns, why would I want to play it open water? Huh? Due to being of German origin, these guns share characteristics commonly found on German destroyers, with strong AP shells and good HE pen. Is it going to be 32 pen? But with low damage and fire chance. While the HE performance may leave something to be desired, airstrikes will ensure enemies remain a toasty. Long range, fast reload, and relatively quick bomb drop time means that fires can be reliably started on enemy battleships and cruisers, although the small squadron size will struggle to penetrate fierce AA. It's kind of funny that if you're really grouped up, you can shoot down Gut and Lu squadrons before they drop. You can shred the squad. But if you're really grouped up, carriers can still drop you. So the AA works only really on airstrikes, but it doesn't really work on carriers. Funny how that works. In terms of survivability, the new Dutch light cruisers have a few tricks up their sleeve. Good concealment will allow these ships to pick their fights, while engine boost and fast cooldown repair party will ensure longevity under enemy fire. Traditional for Dutch vessels, these ships also have strong AA. It's not all sunshine though. Typical for light cruisers, a small hit point pool and weak armor means that when you get hit, it will hurt. In battles, these ships thrive at middle to long range, using their main battery and airstrikes to harass heavy ships. Their good concealment and engine boost allow for quick attacks from advantageous positions and an easy return to stealth when enemy fire becomes too intense. Utilize HE in combination with airstrikes for reliable damage and fire starting against angled targets, but don't forget to make use of AP. The high shell alpha can rack up damage quickly against careless enemies. Make sure to coordinate with friendly destroyers. Being spotted at an inopportune moment by an enemy destroyer is a quick way to the bottom. Additionally, enemy cruisers with thick armor plating and fast shell ballistics, such as Soviet heavy cruisers, will be your natural enemy. Avoid fighting these ships head-on. Well, how many ships can really fight Soviet, like Petro, head-on? Like, besides, like, Salem and Des Moines? There's not a whole lot that enjoy it. Like, some can survive it, but they don't enjoy it anyway. Or are we talking, like, kited ships farming them? I don't know. Jaarsveld, tier 8. Okay. Those turrets look kind of hilarious on this hull. So you got turret. Is it turret? So 5 turrets. An alternative variant for German M-class cruiser design armed with dual-purpose 128mm guns. They will have a lot of flak, right? After the end of World War II, the ship could have been transferred to the Netherlands to compensate for the losses of their cruiser forces. Okay, could have been. Whoa, 31k health at tier 8. That is fucking squish. That is actually insanely squish. So there's gonna be a could have been line. Well, whatever. We take a could have been line. Could be worse than a could have been line. Well, let's see. Ship parameters. Tier 8. Okay, who has less health than this? Harbin, San Diego, Ochakov. So yeah, very much in the Giga Squish tier. 60 millimeters means, of course, that 230 millimeter guns and larger. Is it 234 or 230? Something will match you. Well, let me check. What is it? What is the exact number? 14.3x 16. Yeah, 230 and larger guns will match. They will overmatch your armor. So obviously gonna be nasty against multitudes of ship. Torpedo protection non-existent. Main battery 5x2. Firing range 15.9. 15.9. That's actually really good range, right? It is. It totally is. When you consider that Des Moines has 15.8, light cruisers having 15.9 is pretty goddamn nice. I mean, it outranges Otago, it outranges Baltimore, it outranges Anchorage, it outranges a lot. That's actually a really good range. Des Moines can eat your heart out, yep. Wow, that is pitiful HE alpha though. Like, absolutely pitiful. When you consider that pen damage is going to be a third of that. Yeah, we're tickling. But the pen is getting the 32, which is very nice. Fire chance non-existent, but you're not going to need IFHE. So it's going to be consistent damage. AP alpha is pretty good. Reload 5.7. Fair enough. Fast turrets as well. 142k HE. 142k HE. Where does that place us? 142k HE. That's not going to be that impressive. 142k HE DPM places us at below Wukong. Below Tallinn in HE DPM. But you do have the airstrikes. You got to remember it's not going to be just that. But the main guns in themselves are not much to cheer about. The AP being 326 is pretty nice now. That's going to put you probably pretty high. Yeah, between San Diego and Montpellier. Between here in terms of AP DPM. If you get to use it, you'll need flat broadsides, of course. So it's significantly less realistic. But the HE DPM is going to be very consistent. Because you got to remember, these guys won't be penning 32 the same way you are. So you will have the advantage. You will have the advantage. I wonder what the AP pen on these guns will be. Probably pretty non-existent as well, because they're light cruisers. Or they're DD guns. Here's the main gimmick, of course. Airstrike. 55-second reload. That's pretty... 2 flights. That's pretty okay. Number of aircraft in attacking flight, 6. 13.5 range. That's really good. Guten Lu gets 13, doesn't it? I think Guten Lu is capped at 13. That's like really strong. That's really strong. I'm pretty sure Guten Lu is capped at that. What's Haarlem's airstrike? Haarlem is 12. Haarlem is 12, so this thing gets 13.5, so it already outranges them. Attacking flight 6, bombs, number of bombs in payload 5. 5x6, 30 bombs. 30 bombs. That's half the bombs of a Haarlem strike. A Haarlem drops 60 bombs. So this thing is dropping 30 bombs. It's dropping half the bombs of a Haarlem. Other than that, the bombs seem copy-paste. Same alpha, same pen, same fire chance. The only and same amount of flights, but you're just dropping half the strike. The question, what they don't show us here, of course, is the size of the area that you're dropping and how quickly the bomb drops. Because they said they were dropping faster, didn't they? They said they had what was going to a relatively quick bomb drop time. So I'm assuming they drop faster than the other line, but it's still half the bomb strike of the Haarlem. Reticle might be smaller. Yeah, I assume it is smaller. So more targeted, more precise maybe, to make up for it. Interesting. Def charges, ship base, that's dog shit. AA defense, 5 flak. So you have 10 dual purpose guns and you can only put up 5 flak. Explain that to me, Wargaming. Yeah, the AA is honestly only the mid-range is anything. The problem is no carriers nowadays fucking spend time in your mid-range. Like, it's so irrelevant. Like, some of the carriers barely spend a few seconds in your AA to begin with. So it's like, it's kind of trash. Maximum speed 34. Okay. 34. That's pretty okay for a cruiser, I think. Let's see. 34 is pretty good. It puts you around Cheshire, Nottingham. A bit faster than Wichita, slower than the Otago's and so forth, but it's pretty okay. Turning circle 670, rudder 8.3. Oh. What was it I could reach on my Ipiranga? 9.6. So this thing gets 8.3. Surface detect 11.5. 11.5. 9.3. Interesting. That's pretty good conceal. So the gimmicks are damage control, standard, engine boost. Oh, you got a heal. They're giving heals to all tier 8s now. Have you noticed how that's become a thing? That's just a sign of the power creep. It used to be like there was 1 or 2 ships that had heal at tier 8 and they were like premiums. Shit like Otago. Otago used to stand out for having a heal at tier 8. Nowadays, all the new tech tree tier 8s come with a heal. It's kind of crazy. So, let's see. You're doing 34. You're running speed flag. You're running speed boost. 38.5 knots. 38.5 knots with 9.3 conceal. A very tight turning circle. And you got a heal to sustain. With this range as well, you can sit pretty far away and farm. I think this can be kind of a cockroach. This can be kind of a cockroach. Like, pretty hard to take down. It's going to be fast, it's going to be far away. It's going to be a pretty small hull. It might be taper enough that you get nothing but overpens and shit. And then it's going to be dropping airstrikes as well to fuck with you. Yeah, no, this thing can be pretty obnoxious, I think, to kill. The damage output, though, is... Well, it's not going to be particularly impressive. If you're not landing the airstrikes, the damage output is going to be very pitiful. So you can't... If you sit at max range and you don't use your airstrikes, your actual damage output is going to be tragic. You have to get some airstrikes in there. The plating is rough, yeah. I mean, it's basically Smolensk open watering. Subs will bully the fuck out of this thing, though. It's going to be a complete victim to subs. It has no hydro. And it has no hydro and ship-based SW. Subs will torture this thing so hard. Also, gunboat DDs, it depends on how fast the shells are, but gunboat DDs might be pretty obnoxious against this thing as well, because it's so squishy and it's so thinly armored that DDHE will do a lot of work on it. Menno Van Coehoorn? How do you pronounce that in Dutch? Coehoorn? Kind of looks like an upscale destroyer. It looks very modern in terms of like looks, very sleek. Coehoorn? Menno Van Coehoorn. Okay. Is this completely new model, or is this a pasta of something? This looks unique. I haven't seen this before. This looks like a fucking shell catcher and a half, though, by the way. Wiesbaden copy. Oh, yeah, right, shit. Is it gonna be a complete Wiesbaden copy? Let's see, German. I guess they're all gonna be German hulls, right? Shit, I don't have the Wiesbaden. No way. That's crazy. I don't have the Wiesbaden. That sucks. It's kind of a Weimar as well, isn't it? Same thing. It's kind of a Weimar? The hull? Yeah, it's kind of a Weimar hull. They're using the weird elongated shit. You didn't wear that? Makes sense. Okay. But still, a lot of turrets. Looks like a lot of AA. Let's see how that works. A hypothetical design for a light cruiser armed with dual-purpose mounts. The ship could have been built in Germany in the 1940s and transferred to the Netherlands after World War II. It might have happened, champ. The ship was named in honor of the famous Dutch military leader of the 17th and 18th centuries. Ship parameters, 34.9k. Okay, 34.9k. Where does that place us? Hector health. We are talking Hector health at this point. Dali and Sejong have less health. Everything else is more health at tier 9 in terms of cruisers. 5x2, same gun. 16.5 range. 16.5 on a light cruiser. How does that work? 16.5 is really good. Let's see Buki range. Isn't Zhao range 16.2? Thank you, Money. Thank you, Money, for the 28, man, right? Isn't Zhao 16.2 range? 16.5 seems pretty tight. Interesting. 16. Again, very pitiful HE alpha. 32 Pendo, very pitiful fire chance. Initial velocity of the shells is significantly faster. We go from 830 to 960. 960. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder how that will have, because you gotta remember the shells are very light. So I would assume it's gonna be like railgun into heavy drop off as air drag kicks in. But you gotta remember, air drag in World of Warships is kind of whatever Wargaming wants it to be. Wargaming decides which shells have friction, which shells have air drag and which don't. Sometimes they will just give a ship no friction at all because it fits what they want. It's not tied to reality or actual physics. It's whatever they feel like. That's, for example, why Slava has the best penetration despite having some of the lightest shells in the game. It's got great muzzle velocity, and then Wargaming basically just turned off air drag on Slava shells, so they just maintained the penetration across the board. So it's kind of a Russia thing. A lot of the Russian ships basically have no air drag because reasons. Interesting. Okay, AP shot. What's the... So this thing has 5.5, slightly better reload. So what's the DPM on this thing? Anyone calculated it? 147 kHE, 147 kHE, 338 AP. Okay, 100 and... Where does 147 kHE put you? St. Louis. Okay, so slightly better than Donkey. That's not too bad. I always thought St. Louis and Donkey did pretty okay on the HE spam. I gotta remember this thing will pen 32, unlike both of these. They pen 30. So that's pretty goddamn good. Actually, no, sorry, St. Louis pens... No, St. Louis pens 34, right? Because 203s. I think Donkey pens 30, though. But still, it's gonna be roughly here. And AP DPM was 338. That's going to be pretty strong. 338k, it's going to be between Sejong and Seattle. Interesting. Isn't Penn? You can see Penn... Not here, you have to go HE. You have to go HE to see it. Let's see, Donskoy. Yeah, Donskoy was 30, and St. Louis was 34. That's what I thought. Anyway. Okay, so... AP DPM, HE DPM okay, AP DPM pretty decent provided you get to use it. Now the fire chance is very pitiful at 5%. I don't know if there's, but the benefit of not having to run IFHE is you can increase this a lot. Fire chance from perks, fire flags, it gives you a huge boost in terms of percentage gained. Very fast dirt verse, reload 5.5, yeah. Reload. Whoa. Okay, so 50-second bombs. How much different is this gonna be from let's see. What's the name of the tier 9? You joined it. Let's see. Airstrike. Less bomb. Okay, Johan de Witt gets 6.1k bombs. So you keep the tier 8 bombs. You're dropping 6x5, 30 bombs, so once again, half of what the Dutch normal line drops. On the other hand, you do get extra range. Besides that, it's the same tier 8 numbers. So it's going to come down to what kind of drop pattern do you have and how quickly do the bombs drop. For example, Trump airstrikes on paper look pretty underwhelming, but then when you play it, it's a very tight box and the bombs drop very quick, which makes it actually very efficient at dropping airstrikes. 16.5 range is insane for a light cruiser now. It's like very, very strong. When you consider that Johan de Witt has 16 km range, so somehow these guns that are almost half the caliber of Johan de Witt. Johan de Witt guns are 240 millimeters. These are 128, so roughly half this caliber somehow can lob a shell further out than Johan de Witt can. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but it's wargaming, so it's whatever. How's that? ESW is garbage. All the AA is once again in the mid-range. It's not that useful. How do you only have 4 flak? Wait, you lost flak? How the fuck did you lose 1 flak? It's the same amount of guns on a more modern ship, and you went from fucking 5 flak to 4 flak. What? How the fuck does that work? Because you get 0.2 kilometers extra range, so they stole a fucking flak puff from you? Jesus. I swear, AA in 2024, they don't even want to try anymore. Okay. Maximum speed 33, so you lose speed as well. Turning circle got a lot tighter, but rudder shift got worse. And you get 11.8 surface detect. Let's see, 11.8. 9.6. That's pretty good. Smoke conceal 5.4. Yeah, if you can sneak into someone's smoke, that's gonna be good. Standard DCP, engine boost 8%. So how quick can you do in this? 33. 37. You can get 37 with flag and that. 33 base. 33 base. Isn't that like pretty slow? Let's see. That puts you kind of at the bottom. Your Santander, Seattle speed. Sejong, Tulsa. Ships like Drake, Aegir, Kronstadt, Neptune, Riga, Siegfried, all of these are faster than you are. Zuma is faster. So with speed boost, you'll be faster than they are. But only when speed boost is active. And heal. But at tier 9, everyone has a heal. I don't know. A lot will depend on how these guns behave. But even then, you're gonna have to get back into like 14 km to drop airstrikes on anyone who's nose in. But it should be, with the conceal, it should be pretty easily manageable. Depending, of course, if there's carrier or sub or DD spotting. Because these things don't really have any tool. Carriers, it doesn't have much tools against at all. This AA is a goddamn joke. As long as you don't enter the mid-range, you can just spot this one as much as you want. DDs and subs will fuck with this thing something fierce. Because you have no hydro. You have no hydro and you have no range ASW. And you have no radar. So you heavily rely on someone else dealing with them and you just try to support. But very easy to disengage from this when you just smoke up and shit, so... I don't know. Seems very, very one-trick pony. Utrecht, they're still using this dumb camera. I wish they wouldn't use this dumb camera. What hull is this? Oh, it's 7 Provincien. Wait, really? Is it the... Yeah, it is the hull, isn't it? Yeah, it is the 7 Provincien hull. Okay. Yeah, it's identical. So wait, at tier 10 you're gonna be running around with... It's not exposed Citadel, God bless. It's not exposed Citadel. 25 everywhere means though, and 27 deck means... Or everything overmatches you. Let's not pretend. Everything fucking... Oh, UI froze. Oh, thank you. Bro, Jesus Christ, game. Depends on how much shit you're gonna have plunging into. The T7 D7 Provincien. To be fair, D7 Provincien has an incredibly troll citadel. It's very waterline. It's very waterline, but the thing is though, if they don't give some sneak buffs to it, if they leave it at 30 millimeters, there's gonna be a lot of overmatched citadels at tier 10. 30 millimeter armor is pretty damn good at tier 8, because there's so few 457s that can fuck with you, or 430s and larger. At tier 10, however, there's a ton of shit that overmatches 30 millimeters. So I can just imagine the Vermont volley coming in, overmatching basically through the entire ship, and just plunging straight into the citadel. And if your health pool is... Well, we'll see what the health pool is, but... And of course, the thing is, sap ships exist. Colombo, Venezia. Shit, even Venezia full pens almost every part of the ship. And Colombo is gonna pen through everything. So Colombo is just gonna slap it for 20k flat if it gets caught. Like, no part here can deal anything about that. And sap will actually overmatch this thing as well, so angling will be completely irrelevant against Colombo. Okay, well, we'll see. I feel like Colombo will one-shot it from any angle, yeah, basically. The variant of the... Okay, the cruiser named after the province in the Netherlands. Fair enough. Ship parameters. Oh, wait, it gets worse armor. Wait, what the fuck? This thing is 25, so it's the 7 Provincian, but with nerfed armor. It gets 16 millimeters of plating. Okay. Shit. So Conde overmatches it. Henry overmatches it. Marseille overmatches it. Basically all heavier cruisers at tier 10 is gonna overmatch this thing. Goliath fucking overmatches it. Gibraltar overmatches it. Guten overmatches it. Commissar is 240. Commissar overmatches it. Yeah, Jesus. That's a lot of things that fuck with it. That's a lot of fucking things that are gonna mess with this thing. That's kind of scary. Well, defense, Yoshino, Puerto Rico, Brennes, Stalingrad, Gutenlu, Napoli, Castilla, Henry, Commissar, Gibraltar, Monmouth, Goliath, even fucking Prince von Orange is gonna overmatch this thing. Okay, fair enough. And no super hill, no is, well, we'll see. 6x2, 6x, 37.7k health. Okay, so at least you gain a small health boost. 37.7, where does that put you? 37.7 health. That puts you slightly above Colbert in terms of health, but below the likes of Plymouth, Minotaur, Brisbane, and so forth. 5.2 second reload. Okay, someone's there with 187k HE. 187k HE. And 429 AP. Well, let's see. 100. Where does that put us? 187k HE. Slightly more than Hinden. But obviously with none of the tankiness that a Hinden has. And Hinden pens 50, you pen 32. AP is 429. Slightly more AP damage than a Jinan, less than a Hinden. Yeah, but obviously yeah, I don't know. Hinden can utilize the AP at range, Jinan has the smokes, you have neither. So it's going to be much harder to effectively utilize it, I think. Also, these things don't come with any torps at all, unlike a lot of other cruisers that have that in their arsenal as well. In fact, running these things down is hilariously easy for most ships. Like, if you're a BB with secondaries, these things can't open water you with any secondary range, because the secondaries will kill them, and you can just keep running at them because there's no fear of torpedoes or anything. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like these are going to be pretty easy to, like, just bully the fuck aside. Firing range, 17 kilometers. Okay, 17 kilometers is a lot. That means it outranges Worcester, Waterloo as well. Napoli, Zal, all of these. Salem, DM have 15.8, so outranges all of them. Elbing is kind of very scary for this. Depends on how the Citadel is. If it's very like Waterline, Elbing will struggle to hit it. But they will still probably get full pens for like 6-7k on this thing, which if it has this little health, that's gonna fucking hurt. Also, it does so little DPM. Kind of scary. Airstrikes, okay. Airstrikes. So what are we dealing with? Okay, significantly faster cooldown than Gutenlu airstrikes. Gutenlu has base reload on the strikes, 100 seconds. This one has 45. 2 flights. Guten is also 2, but obviously everyone runs leg mode if they can. 7x5, 35 drop in the... Okay, so that's less than half of Gutenlu's airstrike though. That's less than half of Gutenlu's airstrike. Gutenlu dropped 72 bombs. Maximum range 14, that's a kilometer more than Gutenlu. But the bomb damage is a big nerf. It's still the tier 8 bombs, whereas Gutenlu bombs are 6.8k bombs that pen 37mm and have a 39% fire chance. So in terms of airstrike, you reload significantly faster, but your damage output, or the alpha, is significantly lower. But you're going to be able to drop this pretty often. Like, very often, actually, with full cooldown builds and shit. Like, how much can you build? What all can you build? Let's see. Where's my commander? Oh, you got Michael the Reuter. You can shave off 15% to begin with. This gives you minus 15%, which is very strong. And then you can slot this, which will shave off another 20%. So you can do a lot. Yeah, but then the thing is, Gutenlu has leg mode. That's going to be hard to compete with. Gutenlu can get this down to 51 seconds with this build. And you got 3 bombs, and they do significantly more alpha and much scarier. So, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I hate to compare it to a leg mod Guten, but anyone who has Gutenlu has probably invested in the leg mod because it's one of the best leg mods in the game. So that's kind of what you're going to be competing against. But 30-second cooldown you can get on it? 30-second cooldown. Okay. That's pretty juicy, though. Like, you can farm someone. Let's say you kite and farm someone at 15 km. They DCP. You stop farming to go dark. You go close enough, which is only really 14 km close. You drop your double airstrike on him after his DCP has run out. Shit ton of permafires, and then you kite out and keep farming. Like, there's a lot of plays there. You don't have the same leg mod though, Murakuma, at least not for a big while. So this is going to be very consistent damage output though. And of course, we don't know the size of the drop, and we don't know the speed of the bombs. Is it going to be closer to Trump? If it is, the bombs might be really fucking good. We don't know. A lot of ifs. Obviously, this thing is going to be absolutely Ebola to fight in older BBs. Like, new BBs that have bullshit conceal, bullshit speed, and 100 billion different gimmicks. They don't really care. But imagine old ships like Montanas and GKs and fucking Yamatos and things like that. They're just with 22-second rudder shift against this. It's going to be horrendous. Remember when called Guten broken when it had 30 reload on drops after that one patch? Yeah, but it was really broken then though, because you gotta remember. Well, I mean, it still looks really broken. I mean, 30-second base, that's 15 seconds faster than this with an airstrike that's more than twice as powerful. It was broken for a good reason. But let's see. ASW, a joke. AA defense. How are we back to tier 8 AA? Like, they keep buffing the continuous damage, but like some carriers, they spend 1 or 2 seconds in your AA. They don't even enter your continuous. Like, both of these values are basically irrelevant against something like a Nakimov. Because he goes instantly immune, drops, disappears. Like, some of these values are just a joke. I love that they're trying to bump up this continuous damage, but continuous damage is only really useful against select carriers. And also, the guy piloting them has to be dumb enough to idle in your continuous. If you don't get that, it's a waste of time. What the fuck happened to dual purpose though? 6x2, so 12 dual purpose guns are somehow only capable of putting up 5 flak. Where's the fucking logic? If this thing with 10 dual purpose could put up 5 flak, how do you add 2 guns but gain no benefit? Maximum speed, 35 knots. Okay. Let's see. Maximum speed, 35 knots. That's Jinan speed? Jinan, Austin, Smolensk speed, basically. Turning circle 700. Rudder shift, 9.5. 9.5 rudder shift. Interesting. I just want to look at this new BB I just unlocked. 9.6. Battleships in 2024. So this light cruiser handles as well as my Ipiranga. That's good to know. Let's see. Surface detect 12 km. 9.7. 9.7? Yeah, I mean, you can't build rudder mode on this thing like you can on Ipiranga because you're going to have to slot rudder, prop mod. But Ipiranga has built-in prop mod, so you just slot rudder instead. Okay, so what? 9.6. So you have standard DCP, engine boost. Okay, so you do have an 8% engine boost, so you will be able to bump this up to a whole 39.7 knots. 39.7 knots. So you're going to be pretty fast with everything running. The problem is a lot of the cruisers at this tier, of course, also have speed boost, and a lot of the BBs are going to be faster than you. I hate that that's a thing, but in 2024, that's a thing. A lot of BBs are faster than you if you do 40 knots. Like, they're just objectively faster because of Brisk giving that perma 10%, which is fucking nuts. Still, it's pretty good speed, and like it handles pretty well. I think the rudder could be much tighter. I don't know why the rudder is like this when all the new BBs handle like gods. I don't know. I don't know. Like, depends on the ballistics. If the ballistics are really, really good, so you can actually sit at this range, and if it handles well, it feels good to play, and you don't get randomly dev struck in it, it can be a very obnoxious long-range HE kiter. But that's basically all it's gonna be, though. Like, this thing has no fucking utility. This thing has less utility than a fucking Zal. This thing has zero goddamn utility to the outcome of a match. This is like bringing a Yoshino to rank. But Yoshino has more utility, because a Yoshino can actually push to some extent, because Yoshino can overmatch, it can dev strike, and it can drop torps. This thing can only do one thing, and that's farm. And generally farm at range, because if you go close with this armor scheme, you're gonna fucking evaporate. This thing has no hydro, no torpedoes, no alpha potential, no armor to do anything with. You play this line, you do one thing, and that's kite and HE spam with the occasional airstrike, and that's it. Oh yeah, you won't be running the prop mod because you're going to be running the airstrike mod. You're right. So this thing is probably going to handle pretty awful because you can't run prop. Or depends on if the ballistics are good enough, you might run prop on it and just go fuck the airstrikes. I'll use them when I can, but I'm just going to focus on the main guns. It's a possibility if it's like that obnoxious to play. But you don't even have a fighter plane, by the way. So you can't even spot on the other side of an island. In fact, if you push up to an island and there's a cruiser on the other side of the island, the cruiser on the other side can pop planes to spot you. He can pop hydro to spot you. He might be able to pop radar to spot you. He might be able to rush you with torpedoes. Like, he's got a whole fucking playbook of options to deal with you. And all you can really do is sit there and spam planes and hope no one pushes you. Because if they push you, you die. I don't know, man. Also, considering these are DD turrets, so you know what that means when someone shoots you? These things are gonna break all the time, which means trading with another cruiser. If he can fucking shoot HE and I think break these turrets. Yeah, I don't know, man. Looks incredibly one-dimensional. Like, the airstrike thing is gonna be the gimmick. Very obnoxious, dropping airstrikes all the time. Thank you, Roxy, for the 22. But, like, God forbid if you get spotted and something shoots you. That's not AP. Someone said a Conqueror volley? That's gonna be terrifying. Conqueror Thunder is probably gonna crack your ship in half. It's gonna break everything on your ship and crack your health in half. Colombo Sap might just one-shot you, because it's gonna overmatch and pin basically every part of your ship. So Colombo might just one-shot you randomly. I don't know, man. God forbid you get pushed by another fast cruiser. Like, what if some Henry or like even a fucking Henry pushes you, Marseille, something pushes you, and you get caught. What do? He overmatches you, so you can't angle. You don't have any torps. You don't really have anything, and he just eats you alive. And you can't angle against the single battleship in the game. There's not a single battleship in the game you can angle against. Like none. All of them overmatch you. Even a fucking Scharnhorst failed division into tier 10 is gonna overmatch you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think the way to play this is gonna be have someone smoke bot, have someone smoke you up, and then you sit in a smoke and farm. But then, why play this thing instead of like another HE spammer? I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But this doesn't seem very engaging gameplay to me. If it has a non-existent citadel, you might be able to do some technology moves, which is giving flat. But God forbid if someone loads HE with this health bolt, it's gonna hurt. Yeah, we'll see. In addition to the new tech tree branch, we have two new premiums to introduce. The Dutch cruiser Vrijheid, tier 8. Post-war version of the Dutch Eendracht class light cruiser design with an alternate main battery which consists of automatic dual purpose. They keep saying dual purpose. They keep like writing dual purpose, but I feel like they don't know what it means because they all of these ships are supposed to be dual purpose, but then there's no flag. Vrijheid, freedom. Okay. So copy pasta Eendracht. Vrijheid may look similar to the new tech tree ships at a glance. While her sister focuses on long-range engagement, Vrijheid is meant to play up close and personal. With a smaller main battery of 4 twin 120mm turrets, she lacks the improved HE penetration, AP alpha range. She lacks the improved HE penetration, AP alpha, ranged, and good ballistics of her peers, but makes up for it in raw damage per minute and fire starting capability. Is this like a Dutch Atlanta? Her main battery is complemented by a unique airstrike with poor range and squadron size, but a very fast reload backed up by the ability to store up to 2 strikes at once. Good concealment, AA, and a strong set of consumables. Much like her cousins. A strong set of consumables. Huh? How is a tier 10 cruiser that has standard DCP, standard engine, and standard repair considered strong consumables? What? What? Much like her cousins. Strong set of consumables. Do they play this game anymore? I have to ask, like, on what planet is this strong consumables? Damage control and heal is default on every single tier 10 cruiser. Engine boost exists on a lot of them. And besides that, it has no personal utility, no smoke, no torpedo reload booster. And it has no team-wide utility like Hydra or Radar. And it has no defensive AA either for personal defense. In fact, it's probably the most consumable-starved ship I've seen in tier 10 in a long time. On what fucking planet are these strong sets of consumables? Maybe they thought about Svea? Maybe they copy-pasted the wrong text? Yeah, I don't fucking know. Like, we will highlight the heal has a short duration. That's good. It's got a 40-second duration. That's good instead of like 60 or 80. That's a good benefit. But Colbert has a 20% engine boost, Smolensk has smoke, and Menno has super heal. Yeah, I know. And then if you look at shit like Wooster, Wooster has heal and hydro and defensive AA and radar. It's like, I don't know who they're talking about. Keep in mind it's a tier 8. Sure. For other again, in addition to a fast reload repair party, Vrijheid had access to a couple of extra tools. An enhanced engine boost and a smoke generator will assist with closing. Wait, that's much better than the other line. Huh? That's already much better than what do you mean, like the fucking cousins? They're completely different. It has much better shit than their cousins. Okay. In battle, Vrijheid will do her best work at close range, ideally against a pushing target. Oh, an anti-pushing ship. How original. Identify where the enemy team is likely to make a push and meet them with a hail of HE shells and airstrike bombs released from behind cover. Islands will be your friend, and in case one isn't handy, smoke generator will make your own cover. I swear, this entire sentence is designed to trigger BB minutes. this entire, like, fucking PQ reads this and he just breaks his monitor. this. As a last resort, Vrijheid may survive in the open water due to enhanced engine boost and repair party, but don't rely on it. Enemy ships with superior shell ballistics can make short work of your ship. Interesting. 33.4k health. Okay. Let's see. We're back to tier 8 now. 33.4k health. So, kind of close to Tiger 59, Admiral 7 Provincian. It's in that area of squishiness. 90% torque belt for a cruiser is pretty nice. 4x 220mm guns, firing range 14.1. Well, that is pretty pitiful, I will give you that. 14.1 is pretty sad. It's the lowest range you can get, the only exception being Harbin, 14.5. Statenland is 14.1. Is that like the same thing? It looks like the same, almost the same thing. HE Alpha 1850. Armor pen 20. 20mm of armor pen. So you can barely pen superstructures on battleships. You can't pen most of the cruisers at tier 8 though, can you? I don't think you can. Cruisers are like 25 at least. I think most of you can pen probably their superstructures though, but the other cruisers are gonna be 25s. At least the heavy ones. What about the light ones? No, even they're 25, so you can only really pen their superstructure. 20mm of pen. That doesn't seem very good. It's like... Problem is it's less pen than Flint or Atlanta. Flint and Atlanta are 21. And then with IFHE they get 26. I think you're only going to get 25mm of pen with IFHE. That's not going to be enough to farm BBs. That's not going to be enough to farm BBs. You're going to slap IFHE on this and you're going to go down to 4% fire chance, but you're only going to pen 25. Because IFHE is a 25%... okay, this captain is an IFHE. What the fuck is IFHE? IFHE is 25. So you can't even pen 26. And you're at tier 8. Not tier 7 like Atlanta. The reason why you want IFHE at tier 7 is so you can pen tier 7 BBs that have 26mm of armor. So this thing won't even pen lower tier BBs if you run IFHE. At best you're gonna have 28, and you're gonna have 28 against tier 8s. That means no, you can't pen a single BB at 25. With IFHE you can just barely pen light cruisers. That's it. You can pen the nose, I think, of some of these. And you can pen light cruise. So I mean at this point speccing IFHE is just a waste of time then. You don't even bother because like would you really build it just to farm this? So it's just gonna be a fire starter then. Purely a fire starter. But it has 8% fire chance. What's the HE alpha on this thing? Or sorry, what's the HE DPM on this thing? 8% fire chance with only 8 guns though. 206k HE. Okay. 206k HE. So it's gonna be a bit more than mines though. But you gotta remember that mines pins everything. Like this pens 30, mines pens... What did mines pen? Mines had really good pen. Mines pens 38. Yeah, mines had insane pen. Cleveland pens 30. Montpellier pens 30, right? Yeah, honestly, 20mm of pen. That's the worst pen. That's like less than Harbin pen. Every other cruiser tier 8 pens 30 at least. So, okay. It seems kinda bad. 14.1 km range as well. That's, once again, yeah, that's the lowest at tier 8. That's the lowest at tier 8. So not a lot of, no pen. The HED pen isn't very accurate then, because you're not going to pen anything really. You're going to shatter a lot. You have no range. You have an airstrike though. 9.5 km range. 30 bombs, so it's half a Harlem drop again. Half a Harlem drop. But it's 9.5 km range on the drop. So you gave up a lot to get this airstrike. Okay. ASW is trash. AA, I mean, tier 8. You don't have defensive AA to boost it though, so it is what it is. 33 knots of speed. I mean, it's not terrible for the tier, but it's nothing special either. Turning circle 720. Run 9-second rudder shift. Surface deduct 11.3. 11.3. I don't know. This seems like more like a fucking tier 7 than tier 8. But okay, well, you got standard discipline, fast reloading heal, 20% engine boost for 60 seconds. So what would you use this engine boost for? Smoke generator. I guess to run away? Run into position or to run away. That's what you would use it. This burst of speed. I mean, it can be pretty sustainable, I guess. It might also just blow the fuck up. Vrijheid. Is it gonna have the same armor as the Vrijheid? Where the fuck is the Vrijheid? What tier is the Vrijheid? Sorry, what? It was Endracht, right? Endracht armor. If it has the same troll Citadel, like Citadel is incredibly hard to hit. It's got a slightly elevated central part, if you can see it elevates slightly out of the water. But it's still 30 millimeters. It's gonna be incredibly tricky to Citadel. I feel like it might just melt though. It's basically this ship, but with less guns. And faster reload. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not exactly convinced on this ship so far. I mean, you have smoke, so I mean, it might be very comfy to play. The smoke is very long duration, 124. That's American, right? So you can basically just park, smoke, and farm forever. Provided, of course, no one torps your smoke, and no one radars or pushes your smoke. Because if you get pushed in this thing, you have once again the issue that you can't really do a whole lot about it except run away. And generally, I think short Jinan smokes are better than these because Jinan smokes allow you to actively reposition. The problem with these smokes is once you put this smoke down, you're fucking waiting 2.5 minutes no matter what happens. And that makes it hard to reposition. You're kind of stuck in your smoke. And if something happens that forces you out of the smoke or the enemy moves away or whatever, then you're kind of shit out of luck, so. Yeah, provided everyone hasn't kited off screen, or provided when you smoke up, your DD doesn't smoke up as well, so you lose all vision. It's like, there's a lot of what-ifs with this. Yeah, you smoke up a divmate that actually deals damage, that might be the correct move. Taihang. Tier 9. Okay. Good luck chasing down kiting ships? Yeah, I know. Especially with the airstrike. If you're trying to drop someone kiting, you have to go within their spotting range to drop them. Taihang, a battleship of A140J3 design. What is that? Iwami? Isn't? Developed in Japan in the mid-1930s. It's a Iwami, right? Iwami. After World War II, the ship could have been transferred to the USSR and modernized, after which in the early 1950s it would have been transferred to the people. So, could have and F would have. Okay. Tired of pesky cruisers dodging your shells at long range? Accuracy and fast shell ballistics are what you need, and Taihang is sure to deliver. For captains familiar with Slava, Taihang will come close in concept. While she has only mediocre close-range accuracy compared to her peers, her unique dispersion patterns means that her shells will stay tightly grouped as the range increases. Additionally, high armor-piercing shell damage and penetration ensures that when her shells connect, they will hurt. In close combat, Taihang has a trick up her sleeve. 2 quintuple deep-water torpedo launchers. What the fuck? One mounted on each side of her ass will give her a bit of a brawling punch. Okay. Wish Wargaming would stop adding ships and add some new maps. Bro, they can't sell them though. They don't know how to monetize them, so they don't do it. Slow turtles, weak armor, and slow speed means Taihang is sure to lose in a fair fight. Oh god, this is gonna be the most passive of passive. Like, Slava can actually push in. That's why I like for example, I hate Champagne. And I don't like Florida much, but I like Slava, because Slava actually has a lot of hidden plates, which because it's got Kremlin armor scheme, so it can actually push in to some extent. But now they kind of copied that, but they always made him worse at the pushing thing. So now it's going to be like, Slava is already kind of out of date in the current meta. Like, Ohio is so far superior to Slava if you're considering which one to get. And Wisconsin exists, of course. So making another Slava copy at this point is kind of questionable. Additionally, a relatively weak AA suit will make her vulnerable in traveling without the protection of friendly cruisers. Cool. We love being tortured by planes. In battle, Taihang will perform best as a second-line sniper, using her impressive shell ballistics and accuracy at range to punish unsuspecting enemies at ranges over 16 kilometers. In a pinch, your deep-water torpedoes can save the day in a close-quarters encounter, but don't count on it. Brawls with enemy battleships are best avoided. Due to her slow speed, it will be essential to keep a close eye on the minimap and your team's deployment. Trying to use friendly battleship positions to create crossfires, and make sure to stay close to your cruisers and destroyers. Oh boy. If left in a vulnerable position, enemy cruisers will pose a deadly threat to the Taihang's light 32mm deck and side armor plating. Interesting. I find it fascinating that Wargaming talks about how they... Remember when they added... what was they added to random battles? Was it Airship Escort? They added to random battles. And they stated their goal with adding it to random battles was... to get rid of the passive meta. Remember that? Remember that. Remember that. They said, I remember this. They said like they removed it. We expected to see a shift in random battles meta towards close-quarter combat-oriented and brawling ships. However, we did not see a significant and lasting impact in the results. Like, they thought they could slap airship escorts in the randoms, and people would suddenly start pushing in and brawling instead of kiting and spawn. And now this entire devblog, every single ship here has been like an anti-pushing or like ship. They've been kiting ships or anti-pushing ships that basically do one thing: they punish anyone who tried to push in. And this thing is kind of the same: sit and spawn and snipe kind of ship. It's and they keep adding subs, like Archerfish with that, with all that demented shit, and the Shinano with the smoke and the Giga secondaries, like, and oh, the AP skip bombers with improved pen angles. So if you push in, you get Giga crossfired. Like, they keep adding anti-pushing ships, and then they're scratching their heads in their office like, why are people not brawling? It's like, you caused this. It's like that meme of the guy shooting the dude sitting in the chair and then asking, why would the player base do this? It's like... Hit points. 80.7k, plating for strong torpedo protection. 4x2 406 is 521.7. Okay, AP initial velocity. I assume that they're gonna fuck with the air drag, so it's gonna have some or the crop value. They usually fuck with one or the other. Either they fuck with air drag, so the shell loses less speed in the air, or they fuck with the crop. Crop is basically the hardness of the shell, and it's a completely arbitrary number that Wargame will sometimes mess with, and they don't really tell you, they just mess with it. Like, it used to be a big drama back in the day when Murmansk was released, and it was supposed to be an Omaha copy, but then people realized that Murmansk had like twice the pen of Omaha, and the reason for this was they gave the Soviet Murmansk an insane Krupp value, which meant the shells punch through armor that Omaha couldn't. So I'm assuming that's what they're going to be fucking with here as well. Reload time, 130 seconds. Wait, Turtles 56.3. That is pretty fucking bad. But 30-second reload is pretty okay. Sigma 1.9. Of course, it's going to come down to the pen values and so forth. 406mm guns. Isn't Ivam 410s? So I'm guessing they've given it Slava guns. That's my guess. Because Slava is 406. I'm thinking they've taken Slava's 406s and maybe slapped them on it. But to be fair, these are 870. These are 830, so maybe not. Wonder what guns these are. Hissen doesn't have that Giga pen though. Unless it's like Hissen guns with modifiers. Reload time 30 seconds. Available flights 2. Number, okay, pretty trash. Torp tubes 2x4 533 equipped with deepwater torps. Maximum damage 18k, range 10. It's 4 per side. Speed 62. Reload time. Okay, basically very. I mean, you know what's gonna happen with this thing. They say like use it for brawling, but what's actually gonna happen is you're gonna watch your teammate in his Taihang sail up to the enemy ships, give flat fucking broadside to launch their torpedoes, and get blown out of the water. That's guaranteed what's gonna happen. Where is this torp set anyway? I can't even see it. They said somewhere aft. Where? 2 quintuple deep-water torpedoes, one mounted on each side of her aft. Are they like all the way over here somewhere? Just look at Ivami. Is there Ivami locations? Oh yeah, it's gonna be these, alright? Yeah, it's gonna be these, hidden back here. These are pretty shit for brawling. The reason these are shit for brawling is, by the time you launch them, you have to launch them like this. So basically, you launch them by the time the enemy BB has already sailed past you like this. Then you can launch them. Which means, in a drive-by, he gets to smash you before you can even launch your torps. And Ibami's armor is pretty dog shit when it comes to citadel protection. It's actually got a gigantic citadel. And it's very easy to smash this thing. So, yeah, no, we'll see. But not going to be particularly good. Secondaries look pretty meme-worthy. Not worth using. 6 flak, but 75% accuracy. No continuous. Not going to do shit. 28.2 turning... Whoa, actually, and real battleship rudder. That's unfortunate. Surface detect 69. That's also not going to be good. It's going to be like 14. 13.7. Only DCP, only heal. Nothing else. No spotter planes, no fighter planes. It's Borodino's guns, really. You found it? We'll see how this thing behaves. We're adding a clone of an existing ship. Nord Brabant. Wait, this is a copy of the other one to test. Interesting. has more alpha. Significantly more alpha on the guns. Which means it's going to have a lot more DPM. Less pen though. Less pen, more DPM. Interesting. Wonder how that will translate. Significantly harder hitting bomb strike, by the way. Significantly harder hitting bombs. Huh. Oh, wait, and this thing also has smoke engine boost. Okay. It's gonna be like a premium. This one has shit ton more DPM and very hard hitting bombs. Also 30 seconds. So this is like a... Interesting. So they're testing something. This thing looks a lot fucking stronger than the Utrecht. Ah. Well. Melta, do you want to play? That was a devblog for sure. That was a devblog for sure.